So the Dallas Mavericks have been pretty active so far this offseason, and the Mavericks being my favorite team, we're going to take a look here, dive into the details, and just see what we think so far. Now, their first move was trading away Tim Hardaway and a couple second-round picks for Frank Grimes to the Detroit Pistons, and we already covered that one in a different video, but we're going to gloss over it here. And first, we're going to start off with the main attraction, and that's the Mavericks bringing in Klay Thompson. Now, this is a move that I should love, I feel like, but I can't bring myself to fully love it just yet because I don't like giving up Josh Green. I really do like Josh Green, even though he has, his games where he doesn't look the best, but I think overall he's a really good player. But Klay Thompson should be the ideal player for the Mavericks. He shoots threes, he moves off the ball, theoretically. Or I know he used to. But Klay should be good for this team, and I want him to be good for this team. I hate that there's just like a part of me that is worried that that's not the Klay we're getting. Part of me worries that, we're getting a Klay who doesn't move as much off the ball. Obviously, he's not the same defender he used to be, and I worry that he's not going to be as prolific of a three-point shooter as he used to be. I'm hoping all those worries go away, and I can't wait to actually see him play in a game. So, high hopes for Klay Thompson, but I can't help but be a little uneasy about the move. Now, going back to Tim Hardaway real quick, I love Tim Hardaway. I like that we got him in that trade from New York all those years ago, but this was absolutely the right way to go. It was time to part ways. Sad to see him go, but this was the right move. And I like that we got Frank Grimes for him. Good player, good three-point shooter, solid defender. Can create his own shot a little bit, not a ton, but a little bit. And I think he should be a good player for this team moving forward. Almost kind of a Josh Green replacement in a way. Maybe a little bit worse of a passer. But yeah, should be a good player for us moving forward. And the other player that we brought in is Naji Marshall. I actually really like this signing. We got him on a good deal. I think it's 3 years, $27 million. He was on the Pelicans last season. He shot the ball well from three. So if he continues to do that, then I really like this deal. Throughout his career before last season, he wasn't the most consistent three-point shooter. So there's a little bit of concern there. But hopefully he continues his trend of shooting it well from three like he did last season and in the Pelicans' 4 playoff games. He was really good from three. So if he's a good three-point shooter, we know he's a solid defender. He should be a really good addition to this team. And now bringing us lastly to, unfortunately, Derrick Jones Jr. going away. Naji Marshall was kind of the replacement signing because we couldn't bring back Derrick Jones Jr. Going to the Clippers, I believe, for 3 years, $30 million. So not too different of a contract there. I don't know why we weren't able to get it done. But, I think you can rationalize it as we had Derrick Jones Jr. last year on a mid-level exception. Or was it a veteran player minimum? Something like that. And he had by far the best year of his career. So were we comfortable relying on him to replicate by far the best season of his career for a second time? I mean, I wouldn't doubt him. I believe he could do it, but historically, maybe it's not the best bet to take when you really don't have that much money to work with anyways. So that way I can kind of rationalize it to myself that this isn't too bad. His three-point shooting was inconsistent, and he had the best three-point shooting season of his career. I'll miss the dunks. He was a lob threat from the wing. So he was nice to have on the team with Luka. But I think bringing in Naji Marshall and Frank Grimes, it's not the biggest loss in the world. We'll survive without him. Now, I also threw in here on this graphic Melvin Ajinça, who we got in the second round of the draft. I just threw him on there because I didn't want anyone to say, hey, you forgot about Melvin Ajinça. Because no, I didn't. He's right there. But I don't expect him to have any impact on the team next year. Hopefully he proves me wrong. That'd be cool if he did, but I don't expect him to play any substantial minutes or have any sort of real impact. I am hoping that Omax Prosper can take a step or two forward, though. I would love to see Omax get some minutes and show what he can do out there on the court. But yeah, things are shaping up interestingly for the Mavericks. It should be a good team. So kind of thinking about it, running through the lineup, it should be Luka, Kyrie. Is Klay Thompson going to start? I mean, I feel like he'd have to, right? Maybe he will. He probably will. I'm assuming he will. So Luka, Kyrie, Klay, PJ Washington. So Klay, PJ, and then Gafford or Lively. So that'll be the starting five there. And then we have the other Gafford or Lively, whoever's not starting. And then we'll have Frank Grimes, Najee Marshall, Jaden Hardy, Omax Prosper, depending on if he's in the rotation or not. Maxi Kleber will still be there. I assume Dwight Powell will still be around. Not that he'll be playing any substantial minutes unless there's injuries. But yeah, that should be the gist of the team right there. Oh, Dante Exum will still be there. But yeah, so overall, a fairly similar team to last year. Replaced Derek Jones Jr. With Najee Marshall. Swap Frank Grimes out for Josh Green. And now we also have Klay Thompson instead of Tim Hardaway Jr., which that's probably the biggest upgrade right there if you look at it that way. You can kind of swap out Frank Grimes and Josh Green and say kind of a wash there. Najee Marshall and Derek Jones Jr., you'd hope they kind of have a similar level of production. And then Tim Hardaway and Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson should be a big step up from Tim Hardaway, who I love Tim, but he was so inconsistent and had some games where I'm just like, what the hell are you doing, Tim? But he also had some games where, I remembered why I love him, but that's okay. So yeah, this team's looking pretty good. Is it a guarantee they're going back to the finals this year? Obviously, it's not a guarantee, but this team looks pretty solid, and as long as Luka is healthy, you'd have to believe that they at least have a chance, or Luka and Kyrie, as long as they're both healthy. This is the kind of roster that I think gives them a chance, especially if you do see some improvement from Derek Lively, if you see some improvement from Jaden Hardy, Omax Prosper, some of these young guys, if we see any sort of improvement from them, this could be a really good team moving forward. We'll just have to wait and see about that. But I like where this team is headed. I'm sad about Josh Green leaving. I like Josh Green. It really hurts that Josh Green, we're sending him out. But it's okay. I'll get over it eventually. Or maybe I won't, but that's okay too. I hope Josh Green goes on to do great things in Charlotte. Charlotte has to be like one of my least favorite teams in the league. Like I don't know what to think about Charlotte. To me, their team just seems so chaotic and unorganized. And I'm like, I have no idea what they're doing. They have Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball, who's constantly hurt. None of their players seem to be able to... I don't know. I'm getting too far off topic talking about the Hornets here. But I hope Josh Green can go hoop it up for the Hornets next year. So I'll be tuning into a few games for that. But yeah, just throwing in my 2 cents on the Mavericks offseason so far. Let me know what you think about the moves they've made so far in the comments below. There's probably not too many more moves for the Mavericks to make. Like, I can't think of anything else they do. I don't think they have any money to work with. I don't really think there's any trades out there they'd be looking to make. So this might be the team moving forward. This might be the roster that we have. So we can kind of start to predict and look ahead. Obviously, the other teams still need to fall in line and finalize their rosters. Although most teams, a lot of free agencies already kind of happened. So we're going to take a look at that in another video. But things are starting to take shape in Dallas, and it's looking pretty good. You got to feel somewhat confident about this team's ability to, get back to a Western Conference Finals. I think this is a team that's good enough to go as far as Luka can take them. As long as Luka's on his game, this surrounding roster looks pretty good. I think there will be a lot of good things coming from this team. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. If you made it this far, consider subscribing to the channel. If you liked the video, a like would be appreciated. It really helps me out, really helps the channel grow. And with that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.